Hello, everyone. Have you ever been at a point in your life where you felt life was just great and you're in a good space because at last you've got it all together? There's movement and excitement and everything is flowing well. Okay, no pun intended on the flowing, as you'll see just now. And then life just throws you a curveball. Some or other person, event, or realization wipes out your groove and shifts your world totally. This sometimes happens gradually, but often in a blink of an eye. When, for example, you get that phone call, and I've had a few of those, and I had one recently. I'm the Forest Fairy. Welcome to my corner of the woods where I'm rebuilding, revamping, redesigning a magical life. I'll be sharing with you insights, intuition, knowledge, and experiences on a florilegium of topics and hopefully inspire you to gather your own fairy dust. So, 2 weeks ago, the mongrels and I went off for a long weekend. It was Heritage Day in South Africa. I went to visit family in a town about 2 hours away. On the drive there, I was contemplating how good life was. I had at long last found my voice in the world. I was really focused on some excellent practices to create a magical life. I loved my little cottage. I'm renting it, but I loved it and was just generally excited for the future after years and years of turmoil and change. It was on the last day of my visit that I realized my life was about to change once more. I woke up early to a bombardment of warnings and calls for help on our village's WhatsApp group. It had poured with rain for 48 hours in Overberg, and at sunrise, numerous villagers woke up to water pouring into their homes. Many just had time to grab family members and pets before our usually calm river, as you see it behind me, although it's now full, could exit their houses. It is said to be the 200-year flood, the one that no one expects to happen in their lifetime. A call came through from my weeping neighbor saying I needed to come home as my cottage was flooding. It's now been a few months since I did the intro to this video, and a lot of water has passed under the bridge, proverbial and otherwise. I would say that I did lose my groove and my world did shift in many ways. But there was also an incredible number of aha moments, which allowed me to level up. But then there were also some really uncomfortable truths that I had to face about myself. But if I'm really honest with you, I'm going into 2024 at ground zero. I do realize how lucky and blessed I was in comparison to a lot of the people in the village. I only lost about a third of my stuff, and the cottage I was living in was rented. But I was immediately homeless. Lucky for me, a friend of mine who was overseas at the time offered her small cottage for me to stay in while I cleaned and sorted out the stuff in my rented place. And this I used in the coming months. I used this as my base. And my sister also offered me a place to stay. In fact, I had a number of offers everywhere, but it was a bit more complicated because I had two mongrels with me, and that's not always so easy to accommodate. The fact of the matter, the mongrels and I had to become nomads for about 2.5 months. I also unfortunately went from being a usually calm and relaxed person to someone with a monkey brain. And this is a Buddhist concept of a state of restlessness, or when your mind is just kind of can't control its thoughts and they're just coming and going and coming and going. As a result, I lost focus and I couldn't concentrate. And much like Lady Macbeth in Shakespeare's Macbeth, I just wanted to keep washing the mud out of stuff. That was my biggest focus at that point. And unfortunately, this inability to focus impacted on my ability to generate an income. I just could not concentrate. So this, combined with unexpected expenses like kennels for the dogs to keep them out of the mud, a team of helpers to help me clean up the house, a hefty laundry bill, a storage unit, transport costs, traveling to and fro to live somewhere, all ate into my very precious savings. I could, of course, claim from my insurance, but as many others, I was uninsured, definitely. My dedicated exercise program and my eating plan just went out the window. My eating plan went from Planet Reasonably Healthy to Planet Carbs and Sweets. I just lived off rusks. I think the nearest similarity to rusks is what they call Zwieback, the German Zwieback. In any case, rusks and chocolates and sweets. I just lived off that, and consequently have gained a few extra pounds, kilos that I need to shed now. So a month later, I realized, much like Lady Macbeth, I was losing the plot and I definitely needed to go away. On the morning of my 61st birthday, I packed up some of my dear belongings and my necessities, bundled the dogs in the car, and drove 7 hours to my sister, who lives in Cape St. Francis. It's a coastal town just on the eastern side of South Africa. And there I sat on her stoop. I was very privileged to be able to do this. I sat on her stoop, which is a veranda, and I meditated, and I prayed, and I journaled. I had conversations with God. I had conversations with myself. I walked. I couldn't swim. The wind was just too hectic and the sea was too hectic. I just had time to think about what had happened. I gained many insights and much knowledge. I will be sharing this raw and real with you. So just maybe you could draw something of value for your life from the lessons that I learned. So keep a lookout for the Forest Fairy, as I'll be redesigning, rebuilding, revamping a magical life. And of course, I'll be sharing some beautiful photos and videos of the things I saw and the places I saw in my travels and day-to-day life. I'm sending you much love and fairy dust as you build your own magical life. Until next time, goodbye.